You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/Libsyn. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.
Welcome to another episode of It Had to Be Said podcast, where we say out loud what you think in private. No topic is off limits. And in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about a MetroPCS worker who was arrested for allegedly going into a customer's phone and cash apping herself money from the customer's account. And for whatever reason, the arresting officer allowed her to call her mother so she can explain to her mother that she was being arrested and possibly going to jail. I want you to listen to the audio of the phone call, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
My car is in the bag.
Okay, but so what happened?
The lady say I cashed out myself, but me, my boss, and we had a store full of customers. She was standing right there the entire time.
So, okay, but if ain't no proof, you cashed out yourself her money.
That's what she said. When all I was doing was setting up her devices.
Okay, but wait a minute. So did it show that you cashed out yourself?
Yeah, it was on my cash app.
Okay, well then you did that.
No, I did not.
How? So, don't even.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is Officer Torres, Eustis Police Department.
Now, I want to start off by saying we need more parents like that. Parents that are going to call out their children for the BS. The mother heard the story, understood that it was complete BS, and she called her daughter out and said, well, you did it. Now you're going to have to go to jail. The second thing I want to talk about is the fact that, by definition, a criminal is someone who lies, cheats, and steals. This young lady, not only did she steal money, but she's lying to herself, she's lying to the police officer, and then she's trying to convince her mother of the lie that she's giving. One of the reasons why I selected this particular video for today's podcast is because I wanted to use it as an example to say, even when even when a criminal is caught red-handed and all the evidence is there that they've done something, most criminals will not admit their wrongdoing, and they will try to fight it with every soul of their being because they think that they can lie themselves or talk themselves out of most of the situations that they're in. An example of that is, once we had a lot of those incidents happen of, the police shootings, one of the slogans that came about from that was the I Can't Breathe slogan. And it got to a point where whenever somebody was being arrested, especially a person of color was being arrested by a white officer, the first thing they would scream is, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Now, for those of you who ever choked on something that maybe you're eating or somebody literally tried to choke you out, you'll realize that whenever you're choking on something, you can't speak. Only thing you can do is point at your neck, or you hear a gargling sound like, you cannot really speak. So when you hear a criminal, or whenever you see a criminal is being arrested and he's screaming or she's screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, there's no need to get upset and post it online and say this officer is choking out this person's screaming, I can't breathe. They can breathe. As long as you can say, I can't breathe, you have air going into your windpipes, because we all know, and if you didn't know, now that I've explained it to you, we all now understand that if you're actually being choked out or you have something stuck in your throat, you cannot speak. So that's something that I wanted to bring to my listeners' attention, because I'm tired of the support that I see going out to a lot of these people that are committing criminal offenses. And it's getting to a point where we have a lot of cities that have a shortage on police officers. And that's happening mainly in areas where there's a huge Black population. And it's not that law enforcement don't care about Black people. It's just that law enforcement is fed up. In the Black community, and I'm not saying in all of the Black community, but in a good part of the Black community, it's more like, hey, you got to hate the police. You cannot respect the police. You shouldn't respect the police. And we treat the police like they're the criminals. And we're backing and supporting the criminals. And so now you have these communities that feel disenfranchised because they don't have enough law enforcement, or they call law enforcement and for an emergency and it takes them 5, 10, 20 minutes. In some cases, they don't even show up at all. And it's nobody else's fault but the community. If you look at the people within your community, those are the ones that are causing this. You may not be the one causing this, but look at the people around your community. Look how they treat law enforcement when they're making an arrest or when they do something. Look at how many lawsuits. Look at how many police officers lose their jobs, lose their pensions. Now, I want you to think about something else as well. When you go to work every single day and you're stressed out from your job, what's stressing you out? Maybe you have to deal with a talkative or blabbering coworker, a difficult manager, or maybe the customers that you deal with, they're just difficult. And when we say difficult, they can be annoying, they could just be rude. But when you're a police officer and you go to work, a difficult or rude customer or person that you deal with, which is a citizen, that's somebody who possibly has a gun and can shoot you or will shoot you. So every stop that they make, they don't know whether or not they're going to make it home alive or anything else like that. They don't know if they're going to make it home safe back to their families. So you think your job is stressful. Think about going to a job where every single day you don't know if you're going to make it home alive or not. And that brings me to the last point. There's a story of the wolf, the sheep, and the guard dog. The guard dog is there preventing the wolf from eating the sheep. So one day, the wolf sneaks in and tells the sheep, look, I'm trying to be you guys' friends. It's the dog that's lying to you and keeping us from becoming friends. And the sheep, as dumb as they are, they believed it. And so what do? They fired the guard dog. And in that night, the wolves, they feasted like they never feasted before. So if we keep talking about defund the police and we keep treating officers the way we're treating them, one day there won't be officers around to protect us. And the criminals, they're going to have a feast like they've never feasted before.
Thank you for listening and supporting my podcast. I would love to hear your thoughts on this particular episode. You can leave a comment on whatever platform you're listening to my podcast on. If there's a topic or viral video you'd like for me to cover, you can DM me on Instagram at It Had to Be Said Podcast. I post new episodes Tuesday and Thursday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.